Welcome into the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. Got a good show ahead today, folks. In the second segment today, Dumb Crimes, Stupid Criminals with Travis Thorpe. But first, I read a great book over the weekend, folks. I know serial killers are huge on this show. A lot of people like to delve into that particular topic. But the book I read this weekend has to do with a man who is changing the game when it comes to what we know about serial killers. A man who has interviewed many serial killers and is starting his own project that is getting into what exactly constitutes a serial killer and who exactly makes up a serial killer, what makes up a serial killer. Phil Chalmers is my guest. He has a book out there called Speaking Truth to Evil: The Myths and Facts Surrounding Today's Serial Killers. Let me tell you a little bit about Phil, and we'll bring him in here. Phil Chalmers is an American criminal profiler, true crime author, and television personality who has spent over 40 years studying the minds of dangerous killers. Since launching his work in 1985, he has interviewed more than 1,000 convicted murderers, including some of the most notorious serial killers in U.S. history, such as Charlesmanson, David Berkowitz, and Dennis Rader, otherwise known as a BTK killer. His expertise has made him a trusted resource for law enforcement and the FBI, with his live profiling sessions gaining legendary status. Chalmers hosted the globally successful Dennis Quaid-owned podcast Where the Bodies Are Buried, and now tours with a popular show called Serial Killers: The Experience. He lives in Mount Airy, North Carolina, with his wife Wendy and their two dogs, and they are opening a true crime museum coming up here in 2026. So let's welcome into the first time to True Crime Tuesday, Phil Chalmers. Phil, thank you so much for being here.
Hey, it's good to be here, man. Thank you so much, Tim.
Great to have you here, Phil. I tell you, this book, Speaking Truth to Evil, first of all, great book that you put out here,
Yep.
and a literal encyclopedia of serial killers. I mean, this is kind of the go-to, I would say now, for people who want to find out any and every serial killer that's been out there. What kind of got you to put this book out there so that people could have a reference guide, if you will?
Yeah.
For people to go to figure out who's who and what's what and who's out there.
So I've been doing this a long time, Tim. I've been at it 40 years. I started in 1985. And so I started out as the juvenile homicide expert, the school shooter expert. And that was my first, I'd say 20 years. That was my thing. Like, I became the number one, resource of why kids kill. And then after that, I decided, I kind of like wrote all the books. I did the books and the shows and all that. And I decided I want to find out how you become a serial killer. So I started working with serial killers and interviewing as many as I could. Probably, I'm gonna say, 500 serial killers, a lot. And just really find out what makes a serial killer tick. Why do they do what they do? And how can we spot them, before they kill? It's a tough one, but that's kind of where I'm at. And through this process, I found out, I discovered John Douglas and Robert Ressler and the early FBI profilers, and their research came out around 1970, 1975. And the crazy thing about it is there's not been any new research really until since then, like 50 years. And I was like doing my research and I'm like, this stuff is no longer, their stuff is amazing, but it's no longer valid. Like it's outdated. And so I started putting together my research and I'm like, oh my God, there's a bunch of myths that people believe are true. And I want to dispel all these myths and update everybody with the current research of serial murder. So that's what I did with this book. And I appreciate your kind words. It was a huge project. And one of the things in the book that I think Tim's talking about is the longest list of Black serial killers ever published. So the number one myth is most serial killers are white. That's what people believe, right? So that's a myth. It's not true. So what is the truth? Well, most serial killers are Black males. And to prove that and to back up that truth of that myth, I put in my book 1,036 Black, mostly male serial killers. Most people can barely name one. So that's just a little bit of how we're busting the myths and bringing people up to date,
Well, I think, I can speak for the last year and a half of the show. I know I think in the last year and a half of the show, I think we featured 3 or 4 already. So I know that.
Wow. That's pretty cool. Do you remember who they are?
I know.
I'm gonna put you on the spot, Tim.
Taco Bell, the Taco Bell killer, the one out of Detroit, which was it the Crack City
Taco Bell Strangler.
Taco
Yep.
Bell Strangler? There's one out of Detroit.
Yep.
I'm
How
trying to.
about Sam? Did you talk about Sam Little, the guy that has the ton of victims? Sam Little.
I'm not sure if we talked about Sam Little or not, but I know
Okay.
there's a third one here. But I know we've
Right.
done at least 3 in the last year and a half.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
And I know there was one 2 years ago that was a case that went through Canada.
Okay.
Gorilla. I forget what the moniker was here, Phil.
Okay.
But yeah, so I to be fair and accurate here, it's not it's not unusual. This isn't an unusual phenomenon. It shouldn't.
Right.
It shouldn't, especially if you're a true crimeophile, if that's a word.
Yep. Yep.
It shouldn't surprise you that serial killers are of all races. This shouldn't be,
Right.
you shouldn't be saying white male. That's it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But people watch the media, and unfortunately, the mainstream media only reports on certain stories and certain cases. So, if you go to 10 people right now at work, your family, your friends, and say, are serial killers, describe a serial killer, they'll say white male. Usually they say like 20s and 30s, right? So my profile is black male, 30s, 40s, and 50s. So they're older than we thought. They're not white males, mostly black males. Only 30% of serial killers are white males. So only a third of serial killers are white males. And why do I talk about race? Why are we even getting into this? Because I care about all victims, and a lot of victims in the United States don't get any coverage at all because they don't fit a certain prototype or a certain whatever the media is looking for. And so because I believe in, representing all victims, we have to talk about these killers because they do represent a big portion of our crimes. So Sam Little, America's deadliest serial killer, Samuel Little, killed 93 people. Now, he killed more than Bundy, Gacy, and Dahmer combined. Now, let that sink in. He killed more than the 3 big hitters, Bundy, Gacy, and Dahmer, yet nobody knows who Samuel Little is. Right. The choke and stroke killer. And I talked to him many times, and he was a very, very normal guy. We talked all the time. And he killed 93 people. And yet, because he's black male, nobody knows who he is. So that's what we're doing right now.
So let me ask you this then, Phil. Why is it that light hasn't shone on Sam Little? Why is it that the media didn't take and turn that light on Sam Little and say, listen, there's 93 victims here. This guy's prolific. He does have a personality there, obviously. Yeah. And why don't we delve into that mind a little bit further and find out why it is this man had to take 93 lives?
I think there's 2 reasons. I think number one, a lot of the members of the media like to give black males a pass because they have taken a lot of heat in the past. So they kind of figure like, let's not feature them anymore. They've already had enough, coverage or whatever. So that's the one reason. They don't want to appear as racist. The second reason, and this is sad, is a lot of their victims are black, and the black victims don't get as much coverage as white victims or whatever. So all of that it doesn't sit well with me. I don't like any of it. And I believe that, a lot of the victims' families will thank me. Like, you finally talked about my daughter's case. No one ever has. And like the Taco Bell Strangler, there's 11 women, beautiful women who were killed. And yet nobody even knows that case, which is cool that Tim's talked about it because it's out of Charlotte. But I believe in honoring the victims and talking about these cases and really trying to figure out why to stop these from future events happening. So Tim, I'm not a fan of serial killers. I don't wear Jeffrey Dahmer t-shirts. I'm not, there's a lot of people that are, they love this stuff. But to me, it's more of, this is my passion, my interest, and what I do for a living. And my mission is to try to figure this out. Why is this happening, and how can we save innocent lives? So that's what we're doing, man. Yeah,
we try not to glorify the killers on the show so much as point out the victims and the victim stories as well. The fact of the matter is that there were innocent people that lost their lives, and we like to glorify law enforcement on the show as well, and give them their props and their due. And we've interviewed quite a few law enforcement officials on the show, and private detectives, people who have broken these cases. When there's another myth that you've broken in this book as well, and that is there tends to be the same profile, the same for every serial killer. They're all made the same. You know, it's
Yeah.
the same. You know, the same formula: add water, rinse, repeat.
Yeah.
You
Yeah. Yeah.
all make them the same. And through your research, you've managed to break that myth. Tell me, why is it that we can't make a serial killer the same way every time?
Yeah. So there's when you tell people what you do, like if I tell people what I do, there's two questions I get all the time. Number one, what's the most shocking thing you've ever come across? And this is not really what people want to hear, but the most shocking thing that I come across is these people seem so normal. That's shocking to me. You know, when you sit face to face with a person like Son of Sam or BTK or Charles Manson, and they seem normal, you're like, this does not make sense. Like, this is not what I was expecting. So that's first thing.
Mhm.
Second thing is, what's the one thing they all have in common? I think that's what you're asking to. What is the one thing they all have in common? How do you connect them all together? And here's my answer to that. The one thing they all have in common is nothing, right? They're all different. And we have to approach them that way. And that's the way I approach every one of my subjects. You know, like Tim, I'm talking to the Taco Bell Strangler every day now. We just started talking.
Okay.
I talk to the copycat Zodiac for New York City almost every day. A lot of these guys, they're all different. They think differently. They want different things. They killed for different reasons. And so we have to kind of take them they're one-offs. They're one at a time. And some are lust killers, some are anger killers, some are retaliating against something that happened to them. Some are racial killers, some are, they kill for money. There's a lot of different reasons. And we just can't lump them all into the Gacy, Dahmer, Bundy boxes. We like to do that, lump them all into that thing, but we just can't do that anymore. It's gotten really different and really unique.
And I mean, thank God you're getting in there and you're talking to these guys and they're actually opening up to you. I mean, that's so important. I mean, I think for the longest time we think, if we put them away in a cage that eventually they'll break, they'll crack, they'll tell us why. And I think the other part of that too is maybe on our part, and maybe it's our fault that we haven't figured out a way to relate to them from a distance. It's either people want to get into their world and be a part of their world, or
Yep.
they just want to try and break them from afar. There's been no middle ground. You know what I mean? As far as getting there and meeting them halfway and saying, you know what, let's work together and figure out why you got to this point. And I think that's your work is good work. It's very good work. And that we can figure out exactly what this malfunction is. That's the only way I can describe this, Phil. What this malfunction is in this human being, that they decide that they want to go out and kill more, kill at all, much less kill more than once.
Kill multiple people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
people ask me, how do you become a serial killer? Well, everybody wants to say, well, you must come from a bad family, or, they somehow become an expert because they listen to something or read something. They're like, oh, it's the dad, or it's the mother, it's the father. Here's what I say, it's both parents. These kids are unloved. They have no bonding relationships. They're unwanted. Could you imagine if your parents said to you, we should have never had you, Tim? That was a mistake. We should have never had you.
Mm.
That's what these kids hear. Ed Kemper's locked in the basement because his mother thinks he's going to rape his own sister. Charles Manson is sold at a bar for a pitcher of beer. I mean, these kids know that they're not wanted, and they're unloved. And people say, well, I can relate. Most people can't relate to that. Even I can't relate to that. I grew up in a little bit of a dysfunctional home, but nothing like that. And so I'm not saying that everybody that experiences that becomes a serial killer, but that is the big connection.
Right.
And there's not a whole lot of warning signs. Like, there's warning signs when they're little. Like if your little child is killing animals, torturing animals, wetting the bed, setting fires. We have some early, peeping into people's windows. But as they get older and they start these killing streaks, these killing sprees, it's really hard to catch them because they fit well into society, and they have friends, they have family, and BTK's the church president. They're they're all meshing with society, and it's really hard unless you catch them with the body. They're really hard to catch, and that's why they get away with so many murders. And we like to blame law enforcement. Man, it's not law enforcement's fault.
Mhm.
When you're killing strangers, it's a tough one, and it's hard to stop.
Yeah, and especially when it's as random as it is. Let me ask you this. So when it comes to being that sociopath, when it comes to being that psychopath, when you start on that role, especially at a young age, in your research, a lot of psychologists would say, well, once you've gotten on that role, once you've started becoming a psychopath or a sociopath, it's impossible to cure, or it's hard to cure. It's hard to turn that person around. In your findings, is there a breaking point where you can swerve them the other way, or maybe turn them to a point where they can curb that urge?
No.
Okay.
No, once these guys start doing what they're doing, they're addicted to it. And people sometimes compare them to mass murderers. And, like the guy, this Kohlberger guy, this big Idaho,
Yeah.
he stopped 4 Idaho college students. He's a mass murderer. It's a one-time event. The mass murderers, it's a one-time event. They make their statements or whatever, and usually they die. But the serial killer loves what they're doing, and they want to keep doing it over and over and over. And they, people say, do they want to get caught? No, they don't want to get caught. They want to keep doing what they're doing. If they get caught, they're not happy with it. They're willing to go to prison, and they're willing to die. They've accepted this as their fate. But truthfully, they do not want to get caught. They love what they're doing, and they want to keep doing it as long as they can. So that's the case, and it's an addiction. You ever been addicted to tobacco, cigarettes, alcohol, pornography, whatever you're addicted to, man, you know what that feels like? That's what they're experiencing. Like after they kill their first victim, like, man, I really like this, and I want to keep doing this. And they're going to do it as long as they can.
Wow. All right. I tell you what, Phil, we're going to take a break here. When we come back, there's something I noticed in the book as to who's more in danger than others. I want to talk to you about that particular group of people. I want to talk to you as well about the look in a killer's eyes, and if it's easier to tell a killer from a non-killer. I'm going to bring that subject up with you as well. The book is incredibly interesting, folks. I tell you, if you thought you were relatively safe walking around in your own little dream world at home, you're not. Pick up Phil's book and you will be amazed. I'll tell you this much, Phil. It's almost like being hit by a tidal wave when you read your book, because you think, I'm safe in my own little world. And then you read your book and you realize just how many people are out there killing. And you get this chill down your spine, and then you almost become numb, and then you're open to it again. I mean, there's different emotions that go through your book, or go through you as you read your book.
Yeah.
The book is Speaking Truth to Evil. Phil Chalmers is our guest. When we come back, we'll talk about a certain group of people who definitely are not safe, who may think they're safe doing what they're doing. And maybe we'll even talk about new technology that's out there that's even putting you in more danger. I want to get into this newer technology, the internet, and how it's putting you more and more at risk. We'll talk with Phil about it when we come back. Speaking Truth to Evil is the name of the book. There's a link in the description of this program, so you can get that book right now. More with Phil Chalmers when we come back right here on True Crime Tuesday. Welcome back to the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. My guest is Phil Chalmers. The name of the book is Speaking Truth to Evil, the Myths and Facts Surrounding Today's Serial Killers. Now, before the break, Phil, I was teasing that there's one group of people more than others that have been, I would say, vulnerable or susceptible to being a victim of a serial killer, that being sex workers. I was absolutely astounded how easy it was for a lot of these different serial killers to pick off sex workers. But then it got my mind racing. And I want you to speak to that first.
Yeah.
And I want to take it in a little bit of a different direction here. Tell me, first of all, I get why sex workers would be particularly easy, but is it just that, you know what, I can lure them in, it's a quick kill, and that there's no family supposedly attached to them? Or is that the lure?
Pretty good. Yeah, you're pretty good at figuring it out. I have this crime prevention piece in the book, and I have a lot of followers from all over the world, and it's funny that people from other countries are like, man, you live in the United States, how do you like not get killed today? I'm like, well, number one, I don't live in an urban area. Like that's where most of the murders happen. 80% of murders happen in urban areas in the United States. But I also don't join a gang. I don't buy or sell drugs. I don't buy or sell sex. I don't meet strangers and meet up with them on the internet that I've never met before. I mean, there's things you can do. And, but what Tim's saying is the buy and sell sex thing, obviously it's a big thing. A lot of these guys, a lot of the urban killers, Tim, the urban killer, which is a new trend of the urban killers, they will target sex workers, drug addicts. And, there's no surprises with all this. These people are rarely missed and they're less than dead, however you want to explain them. And it's really sad, but that's who they target. But, you have a group of those people, then you have another group of people that kill average people in the suburbs or, living their normal lives. And some of them are shooters where they walk up and just shoot you in the city, like Tampa, Fort Lauderdale, Daytona Beach. It's happened all over the country, So there's different types of killers, and there's things you can do to kind of protect yourself from being a victim. But then sometimes there's nothing you can do. Or if somebody's shooting people that get off the bus in Tampa, the Seminole Heights shooter, there's really nowhere to protect yourself. You always have to be kind of on guard. And but there's definitely things you can do to make yourself more vulnerable.
What's if we can kind of veer off a little bit here, because you have studied the mass shooting phenomenon. What's the difference between the mindset of a serial killer who comes one-on-one in one-on-one contact with someone and takes out one person, to the person who decides, I'm going to take out an entire nightclub, I'm going to take out an entire school? What's the difference in mindset between the two killers?
Well, the mindset of a school shooter / mass murderer is they've been wronged by society. They're usually suicidal, almost always suicidal, and they've decided it's time to get back at society. And the way they get back at society is to do some mass event, mass casualty, school shooting, mass shooting, grocery store, mall, nightclub, you name it. And usually they are willing to die, and a lot of times they kill themselves. So that's the mass murder. And by the way, according to the FBI, you have to kill at least 4 people at one time in one location to officially be a mass murderer. Whereas the serial killer, by the way, the new definition, Tim, of a serial killer, you only have to kill 2 people with a cooling off period. So it used to be 3. Some people think it's 10. It's only 2. Or you kill one, take a break, and kill another person. You're a serial killer. And those people are addicted to the killing. They love that. This feeds a need for them. And they don't want to do one event. They have to keep doing it over and over and over. And, Sam Little does it 93 times. Gary Ridgway, the Greenville killer, does it 49 times. Ted Bundy does it 36 to 100 times. I mean, so they're doing it over and over. It feeds a need that they have, and it's an addiction. And that's why it's like really hard to catch those guys. The only way you catch them is either they really mess up, and they do a lot of times mess up, which is Jeffrey Dahmer lets a guy get loose from his apartment with a handcuff. BTK sends a floppy disk to the police department, gets arrested the next day. They mess up, or they get tired of killing and they turn themselves in. It's very rare, but like Ed Kemper did that. Like sometimes they do that.
It seems to me like we opened up Pandora's box with the internet. It does wonderful things. You and I can sit here and we can conduct an interview and do wonderful things with the internet. But at the same time, you mentioned that it's no longer an urban phenomenon to have a serial killer. Now you can go out to suburbia, you can go out to rural areas, you can go through dating sites, you can do simple meetups. You could do a meetup group. It could be a dance group for all I know. And you could say, hey, we're going to get together and we're all going to do polka dancing, and that's the way you meet someone and pick people to pick them off. I mean, it can be something so mundane to pick someone off. Do you feel like have we made a mistake?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. The internet it's like everything else. It could be great and it can be really bad. And a lot of people use it to do a lot of really bad things. And, It's gone from the prostitutes, sex workers on the street corners to being on websites where you roll into Vegas, you go to a certain website and you meet someone, and that's kind of how it's been happening. So you've had a lot of these things like the Craigslist killers. There's like 3 of those people. A lot of we just covered a case of a guy who he was in New Jersey. He was meeting people on Tinder and killing them. What was his name? Khalil Wheeler Weaver.
Mhm.
Really good looking guy, Ted Bundy, good, well spoken, and he was meeting people on Tinder and killing, average women who just were meeting people. They weren't sex workers, they weren't drug dealers, drug addicts. So we're seeing more and more of that. And yeah, the internet connects people and it's very dangerous. And it's one of the things I talk about. Stop meeting up and meeting strangers. Stop selling stuff on Facebook Marketplace and going to meet people you've never seen before. A lot of people are using those things to victimize people, those platforms.
Which is scary because, I mean, you think about it, everybody runs into a situation where they're low on cash, right? And you want to, you got a few things you want to sell. Well, I gotta unload this quickly. Maybe you don't want to go to a pawn shop and get less in value for what you've got. Well, I got this. I can sell it for full value on Facebook Marketplace, right?
Yeah.
You never know who you're going to run into.
Yeah. So the book is basically an update of the serial killer research from 1970s to today. So what's the difference between a signature, an MO, modus operandi? I kind of break down who serial killers are, what they're doing today. And then I destroy the myths of serial killers. Like serial killers, most people think they're white. Not true. Most people think serial killers kill up close and personal. They strangle and they stab people. No longer true. They shoot people. Most serial killers are male. That's true. But they kill females. Not true. It's 50-50. Men, you could be killed by a serial killer. So we kind of just destroy the 12 myths of what people really believe about serial killers, and they're not even true. Because we watch the news media, because we watch movies, and we think we know who these people are. And it's going to be a little surprise for a lot of people that read the book.
There's one. There's another passage in the book too that talks about the classic serial killer predator van. Can you speak to that and whether that's
funny. Yeah.
a thing?
Yeah. Yeah, I decided to hit on a couple of topics that I think people will be interested in. Does the serial killer predator van, child molester predator van, is that true or is that a myth? And it actually is true. A lot of early serial killers use predator vans to kidnap and abduct and kill their victims. People like the Toolbox Killers, the Killing Cousins from Florida. A lot of these guys, the William Bone and the Highway Killer, they use their predator vans to actually abduct and kill their victims. So that's actually real. So you see the memes on Facebook, they'll see a white van, it'll say free candy, charge your cell phone. There's all kind of funny memes. It's actually true. Another thing I'll just throw at you, you may not want to talk about this, Tim, but one of the things is like, what is the one case I want to see solved? And it's the one case that gets a lot of people interested. It's the JonBenetramsey case.
Yes. Yeah.
I want to see the JonBenetramsey case solved before I die. And I believe I know who killed JonBenetramsey. So I become friends with a guy from California whose classmate lives in Boulder. And he lives 7 doors down from JonBenet. And so his name's Gary Oliva, but the night of the murder, this Gary Oliva calls my friend, his name's Michael, and says, I killed a little girl tonight in Boulder. And he said, why are you calling me? He's like, you're the only person I know I would call. He's a classmate. And he said the next day it broke that JonBenetramsey was killed in Boulder. And so we think we know who killed JonBenet. I talk about that in my book, and I'm going to really talk about it in my new museum. We're going to have a display. Actually, all right, Tim, let's just get real. What's today, the 28th? Like I fly on the 30th to Denver, and I speak in Denver, and I'm meeting with this guy in Boulder.
Really?
For dinner. So I think, we want to close that case. Like that's a big passion of mine. Closing cold cases, finding bodies. And with this new museum coming out, we've been contacting a lot of serial killers. And I just got a guy that sent me a letter from Detroit. He confessed to 25 unsolved murders. Those are the kind of things we're working on right now. Another guy just said he wants to confess to 2 unsolved murders in Georgia. So along with doing this museum, we're trying to solve some cold cases and we're working on it. So that's my passion and that's my contribution to society and to the victims.
God bless you, my friend. That's huge work. So, interestingly enough, I wonder if this is the same guy that, and if I can just share a quick story with you, if I can. Probably about 15 years ago now, we were at the Stanley Hotel. It was probably a little bit longer than that. I want to say it was closer to say 2008.
Colorado.
Yeah, Stanley Hotel, Colorado, up at Estes Park.
Yep.
And there was a man who came up in a van that came up to our event.
Yep.
And we had a speaker at our event that was speaking. I think, I don't remember. He was involved in an odd way with the JonBenet case. And I don't remember why or how it happened.
Yep.
Man came to the back of it. It was at the, forgive me because time is a strange mistress here, Phil. But we were at the concert hall there at the Stanley.
Okay.
He was speaking. This man was speaking at the concert hall, and a strange man came who was not involved with the trip that we were involved with. He wasn't one of our attendees. Yep. He just came to the back of the concert hall, opened the door, and stood at the back of the concert hall and watched for just a few minutes. And he came in a white van, and supposedly in this white van, he had pictures of JonBenet all over his van. And he stood and watched for about 5 to 10 minutes and then left and got in his van and drove off. Yeah. And they said, that's the guy they think is the lead suspect in the JonBenet murders. I wonder if this is the same guy.
There's a lot of people are obsessed with JonBenet, and there's been a lot of suspects, right? Santa Claus, this and that, but we believe it's this guy. He lives 7 doors down from JonBenet. He's obsessed with children. And we believe for sure it was an intruder. We don't think the family had anything to do with this. If you look at the crime scene photos, there's no way a little boy did that. There's no way these 2, suburban parents put this crime scene together, And I kind of break it down a little bit in the book. You can read about it. And then it's going to be a lot more in the museum. Like we have the guy's artwork. So this guy, Tim, he went to prison for sex with children. So like this guy's a real inmate. He's not a guy that would probably be at your event. He's probably locked up. He just got out and he's on parole right now. And he's at a halfway house. Like I'm trying to meet with him and take him out to dinner from his halfway house. Like that's how real this is.
Okay.
And he's on the suspect list for the Boulder PD. His DNA doesn't match. We think the DNA is not right, maybe. And I believe it's the guy. And so everything he says, he had a paintbrush. I mean, just you walk through the whole crime scene. But there's a lot of people that are stuck on the parents in that case and they can't get off it. I understand that because the media played that card and the police department played that card. But if you really look at the evidence, somebody was in that house. They were hiding in the bedroom under the bed next to JonBenet's. Somebody spent 3 hours in the house where they were at a Christmas party, searched John's office, found his bonus, wrote the suicide note. By the way, the guy that did this says it wasn't on 8x12. Everybody would think it's 8x12 paper, like regular paper. He said, no, I wrote this on a really small notepad, and that wasn't really released. And he said that's the case. The police said it was a small notepad. So a lot of the evidence is there, and it's just a case I'm passionate about that case. And so, I kind of veer off and talk about some of those different things, like, not only myths, but some of the like urban legends, and I think the book's an eye opener, and I think people are enjoying it. I've gotten a lot of good feedback. It hit the top 10 of Amazon serial killer books this week, which is pretty cool. So we're excited.
Yeah. When Lou and JonBenet came out, the book Lou and JonBenet.
That's a good book. That's on the same label as my publisher.
Yep. Yep. We talked with was it
John?
John. Yeah, we had John Anderson on, and that book is an amazing book as well. But yeah, I firmly believe his theory,
Yeah.
yeah, I really do, and I firmly believe you're on the right track as well, my
And I
friend.
agree with those guys. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we're all talking about the same. We're all on the same page.
And the reason it ends up in a book like mine, Tim, is because it's kind of like a serial killer crime. Like this guy is a repeat offender, and if he's not caught, and once he gets off this halfway house, he'll probably do it again. So
Yeah.
it's a passion of mine, that case, and it kind of fits into what I'm talking about today. Yeah.
Well, let me answer this for me then, Phil. Is it much of a step? And I know I'm casting assumptions here, but is it much of a step from pedophilia to serial killer? I mean, is it? I mean, I know one's a sex crime, one is a killing crime, but is there much of a switch to be flipped that a pedophile could say, you know what, maybe I could go one step further and kill the child that I'm actually,
Yeah, no, it wouldn't take much to flip that switch, and it does happen a lot. But we have to remember there's different types of serial killers. So you got about 60% of serial murders lust killers. So about 60%, I would say, a little more than half kill for sexual reasons. That would be your pedophiles. They would be in that category. But 40%, which is almost half of these killers, don't kill for sexual reasons. So they're killing because they're angry. They've been rejected their whole life. They couldn't get in the army. They couldn't, they've been bullied in high school. There's a lot of reasons for that. They were rejected by their mother or whatever. So yes, the pedophilia thing definitely fits into the lust killers, and it's a segment of them because a lot of the guys like to kill adults, but there are a lot of serial killers who do kill children. And I've talked to many of them, and it's pretty sad, but they're out there, and it's pretty scary stuff.
Very scary indeed.
Yeah.
With that, as we get to the end of the interview here, Phil, you have a quote in the book that says, "I don't have a favorite serial killer. This isn't the NFL," which I like that quote. It isn't the NFL. These aren't guys to be glorified. But I would ask you this: is there a case out there that, and you've mentioned one that you wish that you could get solved. You've mentioned a couple that you wish you could get solved. Is there one case out there that stymies you, that you just go, you know what, for the life of me, I can't figure out why this person would do what they do?
Well, there's been a lot of those guys, so yeah, people say, who's your favorite serial killer? I really don't have a favorite serial killer, like I say, this isn't a sports team, but I do have cases that are intriguing to me. And obviously the one unsolved case is the JonBenét case, but the stuff that intrigues me is the people that do things that are not normal. Like, so anybody can walk up and shoot somebody, right? Like that's pretty common. Anybody gets involved in kidnap, torture, necrophilia, cannibalism, those things interest me. Like I want to really find out, why would you do that to a human being, So those cases intrigue me the most, right? Like, and I talk to a lot of those kind of guys. I talk to a lot of cannibals, talk to a lot of necrophiles. I talk to a lot of, torture people that torture people, toolbox killers, toy box killer, lots and lots of names that people. Gacy was like a torture guy. Gacy would strangle, use handcuffs and ropes, and keep the bodies for several days in his bedroom closet before he put him in the crawl space. I mean, those cases intrigue me. Why would somebody do that to another person? So that would be the things that intrigue me the most. I'm not my favorite, but it's definitely interests me. And I'm excited about interviewing people that do those kind of things. And I do a lot of those interviews. So, most of us know Ted Bundy, John Wayne Gacy, the Night Stalker, BTK, Son of Sam. I mean, the list is about 10 people. And there's been like 4,000 plus serial killers in the world. The United States has had 3,200 serial killers. There's a lot of serial killers we've never heard of. And I like to talk to a lot of those people, like the unknowns, I talked to a guy the other day who killed 2 people, stabbed them both to death in his house. They were laying there bleeding, freshly killed. He was eating fried chicken. He took his chicken and he dipped it in their blood and ate his fried chicken with dipping in their blood. I mean, nobody knows who that is. I mean, that's a crazy case. And there's so many of those that are unknown. So you'll read my book and you're going to learn about a lot of those cases that I just talked about that nobody knows about. So if you're a true crime fan, you're missing a third of all serial killers. You know what I mean? They're unknowns, and hopefully that, you'll learn more about it. It'll help your research and to understanding why these guys do what they do.
Yeah. Last question here, Phil. When it comes to these killers, do you feel like they've engaged their animal side too much and disengaged their humanity? Do you feel like maybe it's a matter of they need to come back to their humanity a little bit more, or are they totally gone?
No, I think, yeah, I mean, they've kind of taken their animalistic side, like, all I can explain it to you is think of something you've been addicted to before. Let's just say you're addicted to smoking. I never have, but let's say you are, it's an addiction. It's hard to kick. It's hard to stop, it's almost impossible. And it's exactly what, once they tell me, once they kill one person, they love it so much that they want to stop. They can't stop. And it's pretty animalistic. I mean, you think about what they're doing to people, someone's daughter, someone's sister, someone's mother.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad, actually. And, I never forget the victims in this. I love what I do, and I'm thick into the true crime world, but man, I never forget that you read about a guy named Jeffrey Dahmer, and he kills, a victim, Stephen Hicks, and, and you realize that person's family is never going to be the same. That's one case, one victim, and it's dozens and dozens of these victims. And so, yeah, in the museum, we're opening up a true crime museum in Mount Airy, Mayberry, North Carolina, where Andy Griffith grew up. And one of the big sections is going to be, honoring the victims, because they literally get very little time, and it's kind of important to us.
So Phil, what do you, I mean, I know from reading the book what you do, but what do you do to center yourself, to keep yourself grounded in this wake of destruction?
Yeah. I live a very normal life. I'm married to a really awesome woman, and we have a very normal life. We listen to jazz music, drink wine, go to movies, travel. I mean, we live a very normal life. And when I'm done with this interview, I close this laptop, and I really won't think about it till I'm speaking in, Denver, Colorado, August 1st. I mean, that's really the way it is. And, I guess God's given me, that's my mission, my calling. And I don't think about it at night. I don't wear Jeffrey Dahmer t-shirts. I don't lose sleep over this. This is my mission, and this is what I do. And, there's things I couldn't do. I couldn't do sex trafficking. I couldn't do animal cruelty. I couldn't do child pornography. That stuff I could not do. But for some reason, this is the task I've been given. And, I do pretty well with it. So yeah, I'm on a mission, man.
Well, God bless you, my friend. God bless you. I mean, it's
my 40th year. This is my 40th year, man. I've been doing this 40 years. So I don't know how long God's going to give me, but I'll do it till the day I die. Well,
God bless you. Hopefully there's many, many more years to come, and you get a lot done in that time. So we appreciate what you do. The name of the book is Speaking Truth to Evil: The Myths and Facts Surrounding Today's Serial Killers. It's put out by wildbluepress. We have a link in the description of this program. Phil Chalmers, I want to thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. They can go to philchalmers.com, and they could email me. They can get all my information right there, at my podcast, my books, and anything you guys need from me. I appreciate these guys doing this great podcast, Tim and company, and whatever I can do to help you guys, I will respond. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and we'll have links to the podcast as well. We'll have links to your website. We'll have links everywhere so that people can find you, Phil. Folks, we're going to lighten things up a little bit. We'll bring in Travis Thorpe. It's time now for Dumb Crimes and Stupid Criminals.
It's Crayon News story time.
What happened with this dude, Christ Bearer? I heard he cut his penis off and then jumped off a balcony.
Suspect pulls gun from butt, shoots twice at Denver police.
What is your emergency?
I need help.
And what's the problem?
I'm too high.
You're too high?
Yeah.
It's that time again, the time you've all been looking forward to. It's time now for Dumb Crimes and Stupid Criminals. So with Jessica on vacation, that means only one thing. We reach out to a man who's just gotten back from a vacation from hell, so to speak. He's been stuck up in Brainerd, Minnesota, where it's nothing but mosquitoes and humidity. He's the man that's been requested by one man to become a rotating co-host. He's been so far up my ass. My proctologist is jealous. The man who's been requesting this man to be a regular co-host. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is. He's the combat rev. Give me some forehead smoochies. Travis Thorpe, how you doing?
I'm doing well now that I'm back in air conditioning and away from all those mosquitoes.
Right? Isn't civilization a great thing?
It is. I've always said that we could end all the wars in the middle of the deserts if we just gave them air conditioning.
That's right. That's right. That's right. I think you and I were talking. We also talked about it on the show just briefly, because right now we're under like monsoon season here in Minnesota, so we don't know how much power both of you and I have to record the segment. But both you and I were talking about the Mossad and the psychological warfare going on right now in the Middle East. And I had said to you, and I'd said this on the show even, that there was a feature on 60 Minutes about it and how badly they've got their enemies screwed up right now, where they won't even touch your air conditioners because they think they're bombed. That is psychological warfare.
That is S tier psychological warfare.
When you are so hot and so miserable, but you won't touch your air conditioner for fear that you'll blow yourself up. That, my friend, is S-class psychological warfare.
Oh, man. So when's the last time you went camping?
It's been a couple of years. I'm not a big fan either. And here's the thing. I'm too broken down. I'm too old, and I sweat too much. So it's hard to get me out there in the summer. Now I will go fall camping as long as there's a nice big double thick queen air mattress for me to sleep on in the tent. I have to be the Queen of Sheba while I'm out there, because otherwise I'm not going out there.
It's funny you said that too, because that was actually part of my back and forth with the family, where I was like, why in God's green earth would you want to go out camping when it's 100 and FU out?
Yeah.
And it's just filled with mosquitoes and ticks, and like the humidity's at 80%. And like, it doesn't make sense in my brain. Where in the fall, you have kindling everywhere. You have beautiful colors and scenery to look at. The temperature is amicable as all get up. And the fire is actually comfortable to be around.
Right.
Like it just makes sense.
Well, I know for a fact humidity was higher than that, because I was up in St. Cloud Saturday morning working, and I was doing the weather forecast. The humidity was at 91%, and that was in the morning.
Yeah. It felt like Louisiana had a baby with Kuwait. It was pretty impossible to breathe. It was miserable to be outside.
You wake up wanting to punch wildlife at that point. I mean, you're that ornery. It just,
Well, and I learned a horrible lesson when it comes to being a man that struggles with sleep apnea and needing a CPAP, being out in the wilderness as well. Because the only way to recharge that battery that I need to plug it into is with solar panels. And what do you do when there's cloud cover?
Oh, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Canada. We're going to tariff your smoke from now on. God. And it's nonstop this summer.
Yeah.
So, when it's hazy, you don't get solar power.
Yeah. Between the Canadian wildfires and smoke and all the constant onslaught of thunderstorms that we've been having, it has been one interesting summer.
Boy, has it ever been. Yeah. Well, you had my sympathies all weekend, my friend.
I appreciate it.
As I lazed off in my air conditioning.
Wiped the one tear away.
Oh, poor chap. Forehead smoochies, combat rev. I don't know for you.
Oh.
I think I'll sip another cool beverage and think about you.
That's all right. I'm going to look intimidating while I drink from a straw again.
That's right. Pinkies up, bitch. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Mm-hmm. Well, let's jump into it. Boy, we've got stories for you on Dumb Crimes, Stupid Criminals. Let's start with the story that's been sent to me the most this week, and one that brings back my high school trauma. Shall we?
Yes.
Because why not? I mean, other than, trying to date or any of that. Chuck E. Cheese was arrested on felony credit card charges.
No.
Did you hear this story?
I think I've seen a video of it, but I didn't know what it was about. Yeah.
Show you the still shot of Chucky being let out of the restaurant in handcuffs, Trav. Now, here's the conundrum, right? And I've heard this actually being discussed on other shows. Do you take the head off the mouse and arrest the man in costume with the head off the mouse and ruin the child's splendor with Chucky and expose the man behind it? Or do you leave the head on the mouse and arrest Chucky and say he's done a bad thing to all the kids?
I have a better answer for that with somebody with critical thinking skills as a police officer.
Okay.
There's a thing called fire escapes, and you just take them out through the back.
Right. You have him take the costume off, and you perp walk him through the back door.
Yeah.
This was horrible. Right?
Yeah, that was done on purpose. Probably I would imagine Chuck E. Cheese was probably running his mouth.
That's the man right there.
That's Chuck E. Cheese?
That's the guy who was in the Chucky costume. Now, keep in mind, when I was in high school, I did a lot of character work at the Chuck E. Cheese. I worked at Chuck E. Cheese for 3 years. I also worked in the dish room and the game room, but I did a lot of character work, right? So, but here's the deal, right? I mean, whenever you need to take a break, you go back into the back room, whether it be the kitchen area or the stairway going up to the break room or in the dish area, or even there's a character room that's actually off to the side of the stage. You take the costume off, you come back out in your Chuck E. Cheese uniform, you do what you need to do. Now,
I only have one question for you, Tim, and is there Chuck E. Cheese groupies? Like, do they have like a green room for like the moms that come out, want to get a little alone time with Chucky?
Put it this way, my friend, the character room is the red room of Chucky. You know what I'm talking about? There's a lot going on there.
Free large pizza on me.
Well, hey, let me tell you something. A large pizza and a fistful of tokens will get you everywhere, my friend. It'll get you everywhere. There might not have been action going on at Blaine High School, but there was action going on at the Blaine Chuck E. Cheese. I'll tell you that. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I love it.
When you hear, Jimmy, where'd you get all these tokens from? Mommy, Chucky gave them to me. He did he? That's right.
And now I'm starting an online application.
And then Chucky just whispers into the hot mom's ear, meet me by the stage in 5 minutes.
He likes skee ball a lot, right?
Oh, that was the other racket, because Chucky knew the exact sweet spot where to hit the skee ball against the bumper to get you 50 or 60 every time. And you roll up them tickets, right?
Mm.
Can you hear me now?
I do.
Okay, good. All right. It said here the internet connection was unstable for a second here. So we'll go 3, 2, 1. So you hit the sweet spot where the bumper is. It goes up into the 50 or 60 little hoop every time. And this big string of tickets starts flowing out. And you just hand it to the kid. Nothing is a panty dropper like handing a kid a big string of tickets, right? When you're in a Chucky costume.
Tim, you're gonna have to teach me the art of skee ball.
I have the Chucky Jedi ways, my friend.
You were the chosen one.
It was the chosen one. I used my powers for evil. It became a Chucky Sith. Not like this. This guy was unbelievable.
Yeah, at least you didn't get perp walked out.
No. I didn't get that far. This guy, let me tell you about this guy. A man wearing a full Chuck E. Cheese costume was led out of a Florida restaurant in handcuffs yesterday by police who arrested him on felony charges, according to court records. First of all, the man is 41 years old, Trav. As several children looked on, 41-year-old Jermel Jones was collared by cops inside a Tallahassee eatery where a kid can reportedly be a kid. For Jermel can be a middle-aged mouse. Right? Before the restaurant worker was stuffed into a squad car, police removed his furry, oversized mouse head, which had to be a little traumatic for the kids inside. I mean, right? I mean, boom, off comes the head. There's middle-aged Jermel being ducked into the squad car.
Yeah, I'm just a little bit sad that you've ruined the mystery for me.
Sorry.
I always thought he was real.
No, sorry, man. As detailed in a probable cause statement, a woman told police that her child support Visa debit card had recently been stolen by a Chuck E. Cheese employee who had used the card for purchases at smoke shops, Circle K, grocery stores, and a Whataburger. There's just some employees you can't trust.
Oh, could you imagine Chucky stealing your EBT card, going down to go buy a carton of Camel Crush, just sitting outside? Life's rough, kid.
I'll give you another fistful of tokens if you go grab your mom's debit card for me.
Oh, man.
Michelle Allen, the complainant, said she regularly visits Chuck E. Cheese. God, I bet you she's using her debit card there a lot. And that the last time she had her card in her possession was at her child's June 28th birthday party at the restaurant Fun Emporium. It's / Fun Emporium. By all means, call it a Fun Emporium. Don't call it a restaurant. The food there isn't that great. It is a Fun Emporium. In a bit of amateur sleuthing, Allen went to one of the businesses where her card had been fraudulently used and asked to see store surveillance corresponding with the date and time of the purchase. Upon viewing security footage from Don's Grocery and Meats, Allen told cops she immediately recognized the suspect as an employee at Chuck E. Cheese. Cops went to the restaurant and asked a worker if Jones, who they had identified as the suspect, was the one in the mouse suit. After confirming that he was wearing the mascot costume, a cop told Jones, "Chucky, come with me." Chucky. Jones allegedly struggled with officers before getting handcuffed. So if you can imagine Chucky getting into fisticuffs with a local constable before eventually being subdued, that was what the kids had to watch. Jones denied swiping the victim's Visa, saying that if he had found someone's credit card at work, he would have turned it in to Chuck E. Cheese and not kept it. However, a frisk of Jones turned up a Visa card with Allen's name and a receipt for a July 22nd purchase made with the stolen plastic. So he was caught red-handed.
You know, I got so many questions. Like, I'm crossing my fingers and I'm hoping that the animatronic band was playing music while he was getting arrested and there was all this struggling going on. I'm praying that is the case.
And they were playing dance to the music?
Right. And then the old, inquisitive cop brain kicks in. How did she know he worked there? Because if he is Chucky and he's in the suit, how did she recognize him outside of the suit, knowing that he works there, unless she was a Chuck E. Cheese groupie?
Well, let's continue on because I've heard something about this story, which is interesting. Let's see if they mention it. Jones was booked into the county jail on multiple felony credit card theft and fraud counts. He was subsequently released on bond from the Leon County lockup. Jones has previously been convicted of theft, cocaine possession, resisting trespassing, and marijuana possession. What they don't mention in the story, Trev, is this. This man supposedly was caught on camera inside the restaurant looking up receipts at the front counter.
Really?
Yeah. And when asked by the manager, who is that? The manager confessed that that's the guy who's in the Chucky suit. And so
Aw.
when she called in, she said, I think the guy who took my card is the guy who dresses up in the Chucky suit.
Convenient excuse. I think she was a groupie. I mean, it is Florida.
Yeah. You think Jermel is pulling down Major Tail in the Chucky costume?
I mean, people are into furries now. It's a big thing.
Oh, that is. It's true. It could be a huge MILF furry connection going on with Chuck E. Cheese that has been going on for decades, that we're breaking the ring right here on Dumb Crimes, Stupid Criminals.
They just trade EBT cards for cartons of cigarettes, you know?
EBT cards for a little in the character room, huh?
Yep. And then she regretted it and called it theft. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh. The red room of shame instead of the red room of pain, huh?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, he did get the cheese though, so.
I don't know if you've ever noticed this or not. I noticed this very, very early on in my tenure as Chuck E. Cheese. The tail on Chucky is long, cylindrical, curved upwards, and stiff. So you can tuck it between your legs, and it comes out about 3 feet this way. You can walk around with that bad boy hanging between your legs.
Oh.
Yeah, it's very phallic. Yeah. Although I was admonished by my my manager many times and written up once for walking around with my tail between my legs like that, up and down the hallways of the Blaine Chuck E. Cheese.
Did the tail ever trip you up?
No, because it hangs like this.
It's got a perma blue pill effect.
Yeah, it's got a perma stiff. Yeah. But if you take and you tuck it and then you twist it and you bring it up, it looks like this. Right? If you're watching on video, it's got the perma curl.
Wild.
Right in the front. So what I would do, keep in mind, I'm 17 years old and there's a lot of girls my age that are walking around with tight little bodies and servers that are friends. They were friends. Now, this day and age, it's known as harassment. Back in the 80s, this was known as flirting. I would walk up with the little Chucky tail and kind of rub it on their leg and be like, no. And then I do the Mickey voice and go, Chucky says hi. Ha ha. Whoa, boy. Now that's a felony.
Yeah.
Back then, it was a laugh and you're funny.
I'm learning so much about furry culture right now.
Are you? People are going, I thought so much better of you, Tim. Keep in mind, we were all little perverted teenagers running around serving pizza and holding birthday parties for kids. So,
yeah. Huh. I mean, Chuck E. Cheese is not a 5-star restaurant. It's not fine dining.
Fun emporium.
Yeah. You know, I don't know. I've been around enough Chuck E. Cheeses and responded to enough large person brawls in Chuck E. Cheeses to know that it's always popping off in Chuck E. Cheese.
Now, take all that testosterone and estrogen, and at night, there was, on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights, there was a teen dance club, non-alcoholic dance club, and yours truly got to bounce in that thing. So, I mean, then throw those teenagers in there, right? And then they get to dance around to like Depeche Mode and whatever else. You know, Violent Femmes, whatever else they want to dance around to, whatever top 40 band is going on. Walking around with Cokes and pizzas. And
I figured in your time around then, it would have been Beethoven, but.
Wow. Beethoven with a little bass behind it, huh? I figured they would have been beating on rocks.
You're welcome.
Michael, that's why we don't invite him back on a regular basis. No, I'm kidding. But yeah. And then, you know, you got the the teenagers rubbing up against each other like this because the twist was popular back then.
Twist.
I can slam myself. I don't need your help. And whatnot. So there you go.
Yeah, it in my day it was all Tupac Shakur and Biggie Smalls and just all the West Coast gangster rap, and that was about it.
That was want to hear a quick story?
Always.
In college, I was a college record rep for Skywalker Records, Two Life Crew. And I was one of the first college reps for Aftermath Records.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't know you was all about that smoke, Tim.
I was street before it was street.
You were screet. That's what you were.
I was screet.
Screet.
I was not discreet. I had a tail. I had a tail between my legs, and I was rubbing it on. I never did tell Dario Strange that. He was the head of the record reps. Anyways, but yeah, I still have my record, or I still have my letter from Aftermath welcoming me to Aftermath.
Outstanding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who would have thought it?
I was cool before cool.
You were the C. You were the C in cool.
I was. Yeah. Everybody's like, well, why aren't you there now? because Dre released that compilation album that nobody bought. And I had to pump that turd out to every station there was. There was no Eminem then. No, and I jumped off before they were like, oh, you should hang on because, they got this, Dre's got this guy in studio named Eminem. I'm like, nah, I got radio stations I'm going to go work for. So if I would have just held on for a little longer.
If you would have held on a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could have been the and in the Eminem.
You know what? I probably would be sitting on a ton of dough and we wouldn't be here.
Talking about furries and pizza.
Yeah. Talking about furries and pizza. Oh, well. Yeah. I keep missing those opportunities. Speaking of missing opportunities, should we get to the next story?
Absolutely.
Yeah. As we go down this walk down Tim's sad life. A Johnson City man is arrested for, get this. There's a man out there who would absolutely love this story because now he's been vindicated.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about?
Does he play a saxophone?
He does.
Oh. Does he like blue dresses?
He does. He would say, Travis, I did not get arrested for this. Therefore, I did not inhale. But a Johnson City man was arrested for unlawful inhaling. So therefore, I'm innocent.
No way.
Yep.
No.
Yes. A Johnson City man was arrested Wednesday for unlawful inhaling and public intoxication.
Unlawful inhaling.
That's right, my friend. Unlawful inhaling, which means I didn't do it, which means I'm innocent.
Oh, wow.
I did not inhale.
Okay, I got to know. What's the substance?
But I did take a blowjob. A Johnson City man, again, arrested for unlawful inhaling and public intoxication. 41-year-old Matthew C. Combs also faces charges of tampering with evidence and resisting arrest. Washington County deputies were called to a parking lot on South Rowan Street. According to a press release, deputies discovered Combs in the back of a vehicle, intoxicated. Well, of course he was. Authorities said he was in a rehabilitation program, pardon me as I hiccup, through the court system, and required to wear an ankle bracelet. During the arrest, Combs asked to get his tennis shoes from the floorboard. Instead, he grabbed an inhalant can and tried to use it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, so he was doing whippets.
Yeah, he was doing whippets.
Okay.
A deputy grabbed the can from Combs' hand and took the Johnson City man into custody. Combs is being held in the Washington County Jail without bond due to breaking his probation and court-ordered rehabilitation program. He will appear in court this Thursday. I just wanted to see the look on your face when I said he inhaled.
Yeah. Like at first I'm like, no, this has got to be like one of those obscure things of like, you can't have a donkey in the bathtub, or you can't cross the border with a duck over your head, or, like something like that. But yeah, doing whippets while in custody on probation. Yeah, no, yeah. Slam dunk.
I just, your face dropped. It was so unlawful inhalation. What?
Yeah, it's like, what, did he get caught with his mouth around a muffler? Like, what is going on here?
Awful what? Yes, sir. All right. We got a couple of airplane stories that have nothing to do with securing someone in a seat or someone being naked. That comes later in the program. Here's the deal. God, of course. Now, San Francisco Chronicle wants me to subscribe.
Please subscribe before you can pull up this news article.
These guys, I tell you, now they want me to subscribe. These a-holes. Here's the deal. A Delta co-pilot was arrested at San Francisco airport after federal agents stormed the cockpit. I don't know if you're familiar with this story or not, but the Delta Airlines co-pilot was arrested after landing at SFO and was identified as Rustam, is it Bagwara? And then it went out. I mean, let me see if I can pull up a different version of the story. Have you heard about this story, by the way?
I actually came across a story yesterday of another Delta airline pilot that was arrested, but it was at MSP.
Yes. Okay. So this is connected to MSP. So they took off from MSP, went to San Francisco.
Okay.
I think we're talking about the same story here. Let me get into this story here. It's a Contra Costa authorities identified the Delta Airlines pilot arrested at SFO finally. So this is an update to that story. The Contra Costa Sheriff's Department had said it had been investigating 34-year-old Rustam Bagwagar, I'll get that right, of Florida since April on reports of sex crimes against a child.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And when they came and got him, Like you know how everybody gets up off the plane, like before it even touches down, people are grabbing their bags off the, out of carry-on. Homeland Security hit that thing the minute it landed, and they were like, sit down, and went right for the cockpit and got this guy. And they even shocked the people on the plane. They didn't call ahead to let them know that they were boarding the plane. I mean, this was intense. Sheriff's detectives and Homeland Security investigation agents took Bagwagar into custody after he flew into the San Francisco International Airport from Minneapolis. He's being held on $5 million bail.
Holy cow.
Yeah. Contra Costa authorities on Monday publicly identified the Delta co-pilot who was arrested by federal agents over the weekend in the cockpit of a plane at San Francisco International Airport. As I told you before, it's 34-year-old Rustam Bagwagar of Florida, and they've been investigating him since April on reports of sex crimes against a child. Now, investigators learned that Bagwagar was employed as an airline pilot and was scheduled to fly into San Francisco from Minneapolis on Saturday evening. Sheriff's detectives and Homeland Security investigation agents boarded that plane at about 9:35 p.m. on Saturday and took Bagwagar into custody. There was some confusion on the flight, and here's what passengers saw. Passengers reported seeing multiple federal agents push into the cockpit on Saturday and arrest him, Rustam, shortly after the plane landed at SFO. A passenger who is related to Fox television staffers happened to be on the flight and recounted that the federal agents told passengers to stay in their seats as they pushed through first class and into the cockpit. So literally they were stay down, stay in your seats as people are trying to get off the plane. Right.
Wow.
And pushed into that cockpit. In a statement to KTVU, Delta said the pilot has been suspended from the airline pending the investigation. Of course, they gave the standard fare. We have zero tolerance for this sort of thing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Here's a picture of the guy right here. He looks like could be a East Asian version of The Rock. To me, is how I think of when I see him.
Yeah, and if you bring it down just a little bit more, your ring light makes it look like he has a halo.
Oh, does he? Oh, look at that. Little angel's a devil. Yeah, so an incredibly interesting story because I mean, how often is it that you hear of an airline pilot being busted for something like that?
Yeah, that's pretty intense. The story I saw was not the same. And night and day difference on the charges. The one I had seen, it was another pilot in a 6-video series on TikTok talking about this other arrest with this other Delta pilot at MSP.
Oh, okay.
And he was drunk. That's all that one was.
Oh, right.
and so he was.
That's like a sport at MSP. Yeah.
Yeah, he was pretty high on his BRAC, but he was doing his pre-flight checks and he kept trying to evade security checkpoints and random acts and measures. And so they were like, what's going on? So they're following him on camera. He dipped off into a bathroom and threw his alcoholic beverages into a trash and then proceeded to go to the terminal and then start doing his pre-flight checks. And then he's at the front of the plane welcoming the passengers on. And then a detective, 2 other police officers, and someone else all bum rush in there. And they're like, nope, click, click, handcuffed him. And then they left him in uniform. But to help him be incognito, they switched out his ball cap with a baseball cap. But he's still being perp walk in uniform with the epaulets and everything.
Look, we kind of knew the captain was coming off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that it seems like that's the big joke at MSP. How drunk is your pilot before you take off, right?
God.
It's bad. For some reason, I don't know why it's that airport. Maybe it's because there's a bar every 20 feet at MSP.
It could be. Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of places for pilots to get drunk before they take off.
Yeah, I don't fly enough to, have that be a pretty common occurrence for me. I usually just tough it through and drive places. So
yeah, I hear you. Well, we have one more flyer story here. A Florida flyer was caught trying to smuggle turtles in her bra.
Oh no.
Yes, with the quote here, "Stop hiding animals in weird places," is evidently what she was told. A Florida traveler was caught trying to smuggle 2 turtles. That's turtles, not. We're not in the not safe for work portion of our program yet. I can't say what I want to say. 2 turtles through airport security by hiding them in her bra, prompting authorities to beg flyers not to stash things in weird places. That's a quote. The woman, who was not identified, was stopped at a Miami International Airport checkpoint with the reptiles wrapped in gauze and plastic, according to photos shared by the Transportation Security Administration on Facebook on Thursday. Here's what they looked like, Travis. Look at this. Those poor turtles.
What?
Yeah. She had them wrapped tight.
What is she doing?
I don't know. Those poor little guys. They look like they're miserable.
Yeah. What's that movie? Misery?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like,
there's a tragic end for one of these turtles. One of the turtles actually died.
Oh.
Yeah. But the surviving one was handed over to the Florida Department of Fish and Wildlife. The TSA wrote in a social media post, "Friends, please, and we cannot emphasize this enough, stop hiding animals in weird places on your body and then trying to sneak them through the airport security. You're not going to get it through."
Did they put her through a body scanner? Is that how they found it? Like,
I'm guessing they said, and they say, no, really, don't stop doing this. Stop stashing these animals in weird places. They say the Florida woman traveling out of Miami International Airport recently attempted to take a pair of turtles through our checkpoint, and the turtles were stuffed inside, yes, you guessed it, her brassiere. We want you to be able to travel with your pets, and you turtly can. Oh, God, what a pun. But please travel with them safely. You can start by reaching out to your airline for their rules concerning pets on board flights. As far as TSA screening goes, small pets are allowed through our checkpoints, but must be removed from any carriers and carried through our checkpoint. Notice we said carried and not hidden underneath your clothing.
Wild. Rumor has it her cousin Ursula came right behind with her 2 pet eels hidden as well.
Right in the crotch. In March, a traveler at Newark Liberty International Airport also tried sneaking a turtle into his pants. God.
What?
Turtle in my pants. I'm just happy to see you. That's a wee little turtle head poking out.
Oh my.
Yeah.
What is it with people?
I don't know.
Like you have dangly bits there.
Yeah.
It's
people are losing their GD minds. I'm telling you. I don't know what it is, but they've lost it. They've completely lost it.
You know, maybe Alex Jones was right about the atrazine in the water.
It starts at the airport. It's like, you know what? I got to get this through the airport. I got to travel with this. So they'll never find it if I don't know, if I stuff it in my pants. Well, yeah. That's what those scanners are for. And that's what wands are for. They're going to find it.
It's insane. Why do you need a turtle that bad?
I don't know. You know, leave it at home. Leave it in its little aquarium. Feed it. Let somebody come over, feed it, and put water on it, or do whatever they have to do. It's okay. Somebody will figure it out for a couple of days while you travel to, I don't know, Tampa. I mean, Mazatlan, wherever you're going.
Maybe we do need another great deluge. You know?
Yeah.
Just hit the reset button.
Snuffy the turtle doesn't need to see Mandan, North Dakota. I mean, you know, it's not necessary.
Yeah. I don't get it, Tim. I don't.
With that, it's time for us to get into not safe for work territory. If you've got the kids around, hide them in a closet, because they've already heard that a turtle died and Chuck E. Cheese got arrested. So they're already traumatized enough already. If your boss is hanging around, he's already been traumatized enough. He heard that a turtle died and Chuck E. Cheese got arrested. His day is probably already 2 drinks in. So hide him in a closet as well. We do that in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's start it off with this story, Travis. A man used popular dating apps to swindle his matches out of more than $2 million, according to feds.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's getting along nicely. Okay.
I'm starting to take notes. All right.
I'm starting to take notes. Oh, geez. If you're wondering what dating app he was using, it rhymes with tumble. A man in California was arrested for allegedly using dating apps such as Tinder, Hinge, and Bumble to swindle his matches out of more than $2 million, according to authorities. 39-year-old Christopher Earl Lloyd was charged with 13 counts of wire fraud and 1 count of engaging in a monetary transaction in property derived from the fraud. According to the indictment, from April of 2021 to February of 2024, Lloyd used dating apps and websites to befriend and engage in romantic relationships with his victims. Lloyd allegedly lied to his victims to give them the impression that he was financially successful and knowledgeable about investments. Lloyd told the victims that he had closed on multiple properties, that he had been a financial manager for years, and that he was the vice president of a company called Planet 13 Holdings, and that he worked for an investment company called Landmark Associates. However, none of that was true. Lloyd's victims allegedly provided money and property to him. I don't know why. I mean, did he provide you a business card? I mean, what happened that you did this?
He made me feel good.
Jesus. They provided money and property to him, including in the form of purported investments after he told them he knew of investment opportunities that would benefit them. He also told his victims that he would invest their money, that they would receive regular returns on these investments. There's your first clue. No investment is guaranteed. And that they could withdraw these investments at any time. There's your second red flag.
Mm-hmm.
Right? However, he used the victim's money for his own personal benefit. For example, in May of 2023, Lloyd allegedly withdrew $40,000 in funds that a victim sent to him to write a check to a Lexus car dealership in Mission Viejo. Homeboy got a brand new Lexus.
Wow. And some matching Tiffany bracelets by the sound of it.
Yeah. In total, Lloyd caused his victims to suffer more than $2 million in losses. If convicted, Lloyd would face a statutory maximum sentence. How many years do you think, Travis?
With it being swindling, theft, 2 million, unknown amount of victims. I'm going to guess it's low. It's going to be lower than we think. I'm going to say 8 years.
Oh, no, 20 years maximum.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's max. So max is what they're going to put over his head. But yeah,
That's the max.
He'll
But
probably
20 years max federal prison for each wire fraud count and up to 10 years in federal prison for the monetary transaction count. They're going kind of hard on him. They're setting an example that you can't prey on people and their emotions.
Yeah. Well, and I suppose his misstep here is that he was doing it inside of the U.S. Now, if he was living in Mumbai, nothing would happen to him.
Right. Well, yeah, you're partially right for that. Yeah. I mean, if they can somehow get him on the way here or off of that soil, they can work with it a little bit.
Yeah.
They can wrap him up and bring him here, but yeah, just depends on sovereignty laws and stuff like that. All right, our next story. I think you're going to like this one. Speaking of dating apps, sometimes you meet the love of your life. Sometimes you meet Satan's bride.
Uh-oh.
This particular lady, well, let's just say she's feisty. She's a little spicy. She's a little on the aggressive side.
Little extra muy caliente?
Yes. Yeah. We go to Florida, of course. It seems like we never left throughout this entire part of our program. The message she wrote on a Florida home nearly destroyed by heavy equipment was, "You effed with the wrong girl."
Oh, no.
Yeah. Yeah, buddy. She knows how to use a spray paint can.
She went like full Carrie Underwood on it.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned Carrie Underwood. An angry message was scrawled on the side of a Florida home that was nearly destroyed by heavy equipment on Friday. Aerial footage obtained by NBC affiliate WESH, the WESH, showed heavily damaged home with a vehicle, or a heavily damaged home and vehicle in Claremont. Let's see if I can show you the aerial footage. Take a look at the aerial footage. Let me see if I can bring that down there.
Oh, wow. Did the killdozer go through that?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, she's been doing a little work.
Oh, no, it's a commercial.
Oh, it's a commercial now. Okay. Lake County Sheriff's Office deputies were called to the residence to investigate a reported vandalism incident at around 7 a.m. It's kind of early to be up in the morning ruining people's lives. Two sides of the home were damaged by heavy equipment, according to LCSO. A message on an untouched side of the home said name, or the name of the person that they were going after. "You effed with wrong girl." Caveman language, very easy to write on side of home. Limited space. On the other side of the home, the space for rent. Go figure.
Well, the poor grammar mixed with the timing and the sheer amount of destruction, I'm gonna go with she didn't get her coffee in the morning. And if she would have just had that coffee,
Yeah.
it would have been fine. It would have just been a Facebook post. My boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend is a narcissist. Blah 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 ad nauseum. Narcissism. But instead, she didn't have her latte. She got mad and rented a bulldozer and spray paint and voila. We have
I
a
would
new
go so far as latte and a honey bun.
scene.
Probably needed both that morning.
Probably needed
A little something to slow her down. She needed those extra carbs to get her in a sleepy time mode. The Lake County Sheriff's Office said the woman who lives at the vandalized home was missing following the incident. Deputies found the woman's vehicle on the property, but said she was not there. The last time anyone had seen her was with her boyfriend on Thursday. She and her boyfriend were eventually found safe Friday night. The sheriff's office said the woman was speaking to detectives about the destruction of her residence. She destroyed her own residence.
Her own?
Yeah.
Oh, please tell me this has a happy ending of like it was insurance fraud.
Evidently, she found out something about the boyfriend, decided, I'm going to take it out on my own house. And then he talked her off the ledge and went, no, nothing to see here. Because believe it or not, Trev, as of last Friday night, no one had been charged in connection with the incident.
Yeah. Well, because it is her own property. Yeah. Oof. Yep. Now,
So the boyfriend just said, no, that's all right. She just flipped out. Don't worry about it. We got it.
yeah. I mean, as long as there's no bodily harm to anybody else, there's no mutual destruction of mutual property, right? So, like, you know, if he has a vested interest in it and then is like, oh, yeah, she destroyed this, but I wanted to keep it. Yeah, then there's criminal action there. But yeah, if he's not complaining and it's her property and she destroyed it, she has every right to destroy her own property. Wow. That's a spicy tamale. I hope she is equally just as in good in bed and he is a happy man.
I hope he is too. You have to be real happy to destroy half your home.
Yeah. Well, you know, insurance ain't gonna do anything about that one.
Oh, can you see the claims adjuster doing this? We're not covering it. We're out of this one.
When do we bring back insane asylums?
They kind of need to make a comeback, don't they? Yeah. I have an interesting story here that I'm going to post in the description of this program if you guys are interested in taking a look at it. It's not so much a funny story as it is an intriguing one. I'll give you the headline. You guys can check it out for yourself. My aunt was murdered, so I tracked down her killer and seduced him on Facebook.
Hot.
Right?
Okay, my nipples are hard. Let's go. Let's do this.
Do you want to hear just a little teaser?
Yeah.
Okay. So on July 30th of 2014, Leanne Sergeson was in a Pizza Express with a friend when a South African number flashed up on her phone. She assumed that it must be her aunt, Christine Robinson, who had lived in the country for the past 12 years. Instead, a female voice said, Leanne, Christine's been murdered. It was brutal, recalls Sergeson. The shock still raw after 11 years. The waiter was passing me a pizza, and I was taking in what I had been told. Her 59-year-old aunt lived nearly 6,000 miles away in, I believe this is Tabazimbi, which is in South Africa. The pair were close, however, speaking on the phone every Sunday and writing emails. And now Robinson had been found raped and murdered in the lodge that she owned. Initially, it was thought to be a farm killing, but then it emerged that the 26-year-old gardener, Andrea I believe it is Mbayaro, I believe, then known as Andrew Nidlovu, had disappeared along with 1,400 pounds. Was such an obvious suspect Sergeson and her family reasonably expected his arrest and trial to be swift. But as days became weeks and then months turned into years, any chance of any type of justice seemed to slip away. Catching Robinson's murderer became something that the South African authorities, the UK government, and eventually even her own family back in England gave up on. Everyone, in fact, except for Sergeson, a retired chartered surveyor from Bromley, who never quite stopped believing that it might be possible to bring him to justice. This journey took 6 years, essentially, Travis, to try and bring this guy to justice. So she began a quest that would eventually, 6 years to the day, I think we're invested now. Are we invested, or do we pull out? And
I'm gonna say I'm not a quitter, because nobody likes a quitter. And B, my pullout game is weak. I got 3 kids.
That's true, yeah.
But
should we go a little further?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so she begins this quest that eventually, 6 years to the day after her beloved aunt was murdered, results in the man responsible being arrested. That he was finally caught was all thanks to Sergeson, who had single-handedly made contact with the main suspect by honey trapping him into messaging her on Facebook and ultimately leading the police to his whereabouts. What made her achievement even more incredible was that Sergeson did all of this without ever visiting South Africa. She never put boots on the ground.
Really?
Yeah. How she managed to secure the conviction of Mbayaro is the subject of a new documentary, The Facebook Honey Trap, Catching a Killer, which is available on Amazon Prime Video as of today. So you can see it now.
Oh.
Okay.
Allie's going to be so excited to watch this. I'm going to tell her about this tonight. I'm going to wake her up when we're done with this. I'm going to be like, baby, you got to go watch this shit.
There you go. Today, the 54-year-old still feels astonished by her role in securing justice. As someone who has always led a quiet life, taking part in a documentary isn't something that came naturally to her. She was first driven by a desire for justice for her aunt, who she had always shared a close bond with. But while she acknowledges that nothing she has done will bring her back, in the past 11 years, they've proven to her how femicide is allowed to happen virtually unchallenged. In South Africa, 153 rapes are reported each day, and 8 women are murdered. That's each day, Travis.
Every day.
Every day in South Africa. She says, I think life is cheap there. It's accepted. Even when they find the men responsible, cases fall apart because the system isn't robust enough. And then you start to read UN reports about femicide, rape, and gender-based violence. And they show that right across the world, women have no value. That her plucky, vivacious aunt was all too easily reduced to yet another female murder victim photograph. A headline in a newspaper is something that she still rails against. She was a real person, she says, with a real life and lots of life left to live. And that was taken from her in the most violent way possible. All her life, Sergeson had looked up to her aunt as someone who embraced life to the fullest. The teacher from Liverpool had lived everywhere from Moscow to Kuwait and had traveled to the Galapagos, China, and Australia. You sit next to Chris on a bus and you know her life story. She was chatty and funny. She had many friends all over the world. She grew up very poor, but she had ambition and she wanted to travel. She would come home with a suitcase full of photographs of the kids in her class, and she'd talk about them as if they were her own children. She was nurturing as a teacher, I suppose. She wanted children, but it just didn't happen. And in 2002, after meeting and marrying Robbie, the love of her life, in her 40s, the couple bought a game park near the Botswana border. While she and Robbie had been concerned about violence, the life they opted for was a long way from any of South Africa's violent townships. They had CCTV and 2, I believe this is Alsatian dogs that were trained to protect. She did everything you were supposed to do, said Sergeson. And life was good. That was until Robbie was diagnosed with cancer. In 2012, he died with Robinson by his side in his native Ireland. Afterwards, still deep in grief, Robinson made the decision to return to South Africa to continue running the 30-guest lodge. I was driving her to the airport and I said, "You don't need to do this, Chris. We can't get a lawyer to sort it out." But she hadn't been back for 18 months. There were all these legalities to go through. Plus, she had memories there to visit or revisit and enjoy. By the time Sergeson took the call in Pizza Express 2 years later, Robinson was in the process of selling that lodge with the intention of returning to the UK. So she was coming back home. The day of her murder, she missed an appointment about the sale. It was all but done. The same day that Robinson was found wrapped in a duvet, her throat slashed, Mbayaro fled to his native Zimbabwe. That someone close to her aunt who had worked there for 6 years could do such a thing shocked Sergeson. I think there had been some petty theft, but nothing like this. Afterwards, I scoured all the emails that Chris had sent me looking for mention of him. And there was never a story about him. She wrote about the chefs and the maids, but never him. What followed was a painfully inadequate attempt to extradite him from Zimbabwe. There were 3 or 4 attempts at extradition, but the paperwork was always wrong in some way. They tell me it was getting done, but it wasn't. The authorities were so incompetent. Sergeson found her dealings with the Foreign Office to be equally frustrating. Our government wouldn't put enough pressure on them to get it sorted. I went to one meeting that had been in the diary for 2 weeks, and the case officer knew nothing about the case. He hadn't even had the decency to open the file and look at the details. All he said was, "I'll do better next time."
Wow.
Yeah. It wasn't until she made contact with the charity Murdered Abroad that she realized her experience was all too common. Everyone thinks of the Madeleine McCann case where the police swoop in, but that doesn't happen, said Sergeson plainly. And even the South African nonprofit organization Action Society that focuses on work for reforming the justice system, especially regarding gender-based violence, went quiet. They'd moved on to the next case. While that was frustrating, you understand they've got to put the resources where they can. Going to South Africa herself was out of the question due to her own health problems. Sergeson suffers from severe asthma that has seen her hospitalized in intensive care. Via text and email, she maintained contact with the likes of Noel Dennis, who is the lodge manager as well as Robinson's friend. It was through her that in 2015, she was told about a sighting of Ibayaro, who was back in South Africa, living in Johannesburg. Sergeson told the South African authorities, and then nothing happened. So he's just
surprise. Jeez.
roaming around free. So that's when she takes matters into her own hands. His Facebook page had been inactive since he fled in 2014, but in 2016, turning sleuth, Sergeson discovered that he had 3 other profiles under which he had posted more recent pictures. Frustrated by the lack of any other investigations taking place, she decided to take matters in her own hands, creating a fake profile of her own, a flirty 20-something air hostess named Missy Falco, and an amalgam of her 2 retired racing greyhounds names to reel him in. Yeah. Having befriended some of his Facebook friends, she messaged him flirtatiously, telling him he was so hot and had sexy eyes.
This reminds me of like half of my Facebook messages that come in every day.
Right?
I'm sure you've seen me toying with them.
Yes. Yeah. Mbayaro took the bait, and over the next 6 months, Sergeson gleaned new information that she passed on to the South African authorities. I told them I was a stewardess. It meant I wasn't always contactable. I had to keep it light. I didn't want to tie myself up in lies that I couldn't remember. I thought if I kept him flattered, I would keep his interest, she says of her messages. Sergeson didn't tell her family what she was doing. She had learned not to raise their hopes. The loss of her sister had hit Sergeson's mother horribly, and she was conscious of protecting her from more distress. Throughout, Sergeson's husband, Simone, was apprehensive but supportive. She says, he's not one to put his head above the parapet, and I wasn't before this, but I'm quite shy. And when something drives you, you have to do something. So she knew she had to continue going through this. Still, there were moments when she backed off because I thought, this isn't healthy. I need to manage my health and well-being. The messaging was often late at night. It was difficult, and I had no support over what I should be saying or doing. I remember one time I was out for dinner with a friend, and Andrew texted, and I texted back, and I thought, what are you doing? Stop this. I couldn't let it consume me. Her information led to a failed triangulation of his location by the authorities in 2017. And then when a sting operation failed after Mbayaro didn't show at a meetup, the trail went cold in 2018. Sergeson was left feeling like it had all been for nothing. Throughout, she had been told by the Foreign Office not to do anything with the information she had, that the South African authorities were dealing with it. That was no longer enough to keep Sergeson quiet. He was still out and enjoying his life, and the South African police were too overwhelmed to do anything beyond ticking boxes, she says. The British government had never posted his image online, and foolishly, I listened to them. But I had all these new photos, and I wondered if I posted them, if someone would recognize him now. On July 30th of 2020, which was the 6th anniversary of Robinson's murder, Sergeson decided to go for it, writing, 6 years ago today, this man raped and murdered my aunt, Christine Robinson. Andrew Nidlovu is still a free man and enjoying his life after taking hers. Ian Cameron of Action Society shared the post, causing it to go viral with more than 70,000 people sharing it. The same day, a woman by the name of Melissa got in touch. Ibiaro had been working for her family for the past 5 years and living in her yard for the last year.
Wow.
Yeah. That evening, he was arrested.
All it took was a viral social media post of 700,000 people sharing it for law enforcement to actually do something about it.
Yeah. And someone to come forward and say, this guy's living in our yard. He's been here for the last 5 years working for us.
Wow.
We know where he is.
And, you know, and if he had the, I don't know, the serial aspect to him, he would have been hitting that anniversary mark. Because he was working for the aunt for what, 6 years?
Yeah. So he was close.
And he was working for 5 years for the other family.
Yep.
That's scary.
Yeah, it is. He'd worked for them for years and was trusted, said Sergeson. It was incredibly swift result after so much time. However, in South Africa, conviction rates for femicide are shockingly low due to the lack of thorough evidence in prosecution. Statistics from the Medical Research Council reveals less than 1 in 5 sexual offense cases end up in court, with only 8.6% of sexual offense cases finalized with a guilty verdict. Here, luck was on the family side. But you know what? I'm going to have you go to the special on Amazon Prime and watch.
I'm going to. I can guarantee you my wife's going to want to watch it. So, yeah, it's going to happen.
Yeah, because I think the rest of it is worthy of a watch. I think to find out what happens with this guy. But the fact that she lured him in through Facebook and played this game with him and then decided, you know what, enough's enough. I'm just gonna put it out there. Again, the name of the special, you can go see it. The Facebook Honey Trap, Catching a Killer. It's available on Amazon Prime Video. So there you go.
Nice.
A little sidebar for us.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I don't like it, but you know, I like it. Yeah, you know. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
Good for her for taking it into her own hands and seeking that justice. And it is alarming to people outside of the United States.
Yeah.
You know, on really, like, if people think there's not a lot of good justice in our justice system here, and there is some fact to that, right? It's not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But for those of us that have been abroad and have spent more than 5 days abroad and have spent years in other countries, it is nasty in this world.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. That's for sure. All right, let's get back to the funny. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know about you, brother, but self-checkout is not a fun thing for me. I tend to go to whoever it is who's working an actual register.
I refuse to shop at Home Depot anymore because it's all self-checkout. And so they don't get any more of my money anymore.
There you go. This man, I think, had enough as well about self-checkout and a scanner at this particular mart at Kroger. This 23-year-old man decided he'd had enough of their shit, so he was going to shit on their scanner.
Yes! I have a new spirit animal. Fuck yes. All right, give it to me.
A judge ordered an Ohio man to stay away from the Kroger store where he allegedly stripped naked and defecated on a self-checkout scanner.
I love it.
23-year-old Colin Murphy was arrested on a Sunday following a repulsive incident. It's not repulsive to me. Inside the Kroger market in the Hyde Park neighborhood of Cincinnati, where he lives. According to criminal complaints, Murphy entered the Kroger and stripped naked in front of a male employee. Well, at least he did it in front of a guy.
Yeah.
I don't see anything wrong. The suspect, police noted, smelled of alcohol, had slurred speech, and staggered as he walked, which means he was having a good time.
Yeah.
All right. After disrobing, Murphy defecated on the "You Scan It," investigators allege. Well, he probably was. He probably thought it was a colon cancer check, right?
Yeah. Why don't you scan this shit?
Yeah. Here, check me and see if I have cancer. Murphy, who lives less than 2 miles from the Kroger, was arrested for disorderly conduct and public indecency charges during a court of... That's it. Yeah. During a court appearance on Monday, a judge set Murphy's bail at only $2,000. That's all you get for shitting on a scanner, and barred him from returning to the soiled Kroger. Something tells me he's not going to go back anyways.
Tim, it was on a Sunday. He was doing the Lord's work. And I'm just saying, I know what I'm doing this next Sunday. I'm going to go to Home Depot.
Shit on their scanner.
And allegedly, I might shit on their scanner.
Okay.
Fuck you, Home Depot. I don't work for you. You don't pay me. I didn't fill out a fucking W-4. I didn't fill out a W-2. Why the fuck am I scanning my own shit, you fucks? Give me a goddamn discount or a friends and family discount if you're going to make me check my own goddamn shit, you fucks. All right, sorry. That's how I feel about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Strong. You took it to the hoop there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
I might shit on their scanner.
I think you might. I think you've got your mind set on it. Murphy, who was freed from the Hamilton County Jail, free to be a serial shitter as he sees fit, is scheduled for he's already been scheduled for his pretrial hearing. We'll update you as we see fit.
Not all heroes wear capes.
No, but they do have to move them out of the way when they shit on the scanner. I'll tell you that much. You don't want to get you shit on the
man a fucking key to the city.
Key to the city.
Can we start a fucking GoFundMe for this man and pay his fine? This man is a fucking folk hero. Like, we need to rally behind him.
You, sir, are our spokesperson for self-scanners.
Bring war to the robots.
Now, if you could just shit on the scanners as we leave the store. The ones that malfunction every time. I know I've paid for my shit, yet it still goes off.
Oh, my family gets so mad at me too, because like we will go to any store, right? And the self-checkouts will be open, and they're like, "Why aren't you going to self-checkout?" And I'm like, "Because I support people who want to work and actual employees in America." And I will wait 16 people deep in a line to go have a person check me out. I'm not doing the self-checkout. They don't pay me, Tim.
You know what I hate more than anything? When people say, well, it doesn't save jobs. You should just still go through the self-checkout. No, I know I'm saving a job if I use a person.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you not save a job if you're using a person?
Yeah. There was like 18 people there on shifts all your entire life. And then all of a sudden now there's 3 people standing there.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're saving jobs. Yeah.
So I'm going to use the person. I'm not going to use the self-checkout.
For now on, we all just need to start shitting in self-checkouts. And
That's
then they'll
right.
stop doing it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Jam the scanner with your feces, my people.
Yes.
Sim Sullivan.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah, don't get caught.
Yeah. Use a Snickers.
Use a Snickers.
Or a fistful of Nutella, you know?
So yeah. So you can tell the cop, no, go ahead, taste it. It's not my shit.
Yeah, see, look.
No, you don't taste it first. You make them taste it.
Yeah.
No, you taste it first. Really aggressive about it. No, you taste it first. You taste my shit. I mean, Nutella.
Seriously, this man is a hero. We need like a national holiday. Everything. This guy is my spirit animal. This is happening.
Yeah. Good guy. All right. Our final story today before we get to our palate cleanser. I believe. Let me look. Yep. Before we get to our palate cleanser is this. I'm going to say 3 words. Just tell me yay or nay. Mile High Club. Have you joined?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, these two kids evidently were caught in the act.
Okay.
I don't know why it's,
Why is that a big deal?
Well, their lewd behavior allegedly happened in front of a mother and her kids. That's why it's a big deal.
Was the door open?
Well, we'll find out. Here's the embarrassing part. It was a married Connecticut couple. You couldn't have done it when you were single? When you were dating? I mean, it's,
And they're just trying to spice up their life, like, I don't know, maybe they had a marriage counselor that was like, well, you guys are having a hard time. Go take a flight, Maybe
you should take it to JetBlue because that's where they took it. Dear God. A married Connecticut couple is facing felony charges after joining the Mile High Club on a JetBlue flight on Saturday morning. JetBlue. At least go Delta.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just glad it wasn't Spirit Airlines,
Don't go with the discount airline where the families are flying.
Well, there's plenty of families on Delta.
Yeah, but get yourself a first class flight, go in business class, and knock your brains out in business class. Nobody.
Why even do that? We already know. We just got to go to Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, and go to the character room. Hit up, Chucky will pull a threesome with you if you're good enough looking. These two are fine. These two are just fine.
Or if you got the EBT card.
I think you're right. I think these two are trying to spice it up. 42-year-old Trista Riley and 43-year-old Christopher Arnold. Boy, I have questions here when I hear the two names. We're traveling to Sarasota, Florida from John F. Kennedy International Airport in New York when they allegedly engaged in lewd and lascivious exhibition, according to a probable cause affidavit. A flight attendant told cops that several youths and their mother had witnessed Riley and Arnold performing in sexual activity on board JetBlue Flight 163 JFK to SRQ. Do you think the mother went all Animal Planet on the bit and started describing the activity to them? I believe we're seeing 2 middle-aged New Yorkers in the wild getting it on. Little Animal Planet after dark?
I mean, possible. I mean, she was at least offended enough that she needed to call the police. So, yeah, she probably got descriptive.
You see, children, when your eggs are drying up, you need to get it wherever you can. So the restroom of a JetBlue airliner is probably best for business.
Why is she such a cockblock? Go home, Karen. Stop looking. Let him have fun.
Because the kids are watching. That's
Ah,
why.
the kids should have been asleep with some Benadryl in the eye, like back in their seat, and mom should have been giving them fucking fruit snacks and a goddamn tablet to be fucking
They should be watching the
distracted.
iPad. They should be watching Bluey. They shouldn't be watching him get blue balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But instead she's being a fucking Karen. Yeah,
Hmm.
no. Like, go let them have fun. Let them be adults.
Okay.
You're only young and beautiful for a certain amount of time, and then we're all a bunch of raisins and broken.
Boy, you're stretching calling her young. She's 42, bro.
I'm 40. Stop it.
Let's face it. Let's take a good look here. I mean, come on. She's not young.
Yeah, well, she looks horrible because it's a jail picture, so she's got the methany kind of look to her. But she's a Trailer Park 6, dude. Like, I'd hit it.
She's a Trailer Park 6. She's 30 days away from sliding an EBT card to Chucky. I mean, she really is. I mean,
I'm gonna start flying JetBlue.
right? She's 30 days away from having a threesome with Chucky in the red room of shame. Just saying. Onward with the story. A flight attendant told cops that several youths and their mother had witnessed Riley and Arnold performing in sexual activity aboard JetBlue Flight 163 when Brian Zepp, the JetBlue attendant, wasn't Brian Zepp a radio DJ here in town with K92?
I don't know. For some reason, I felt like he was a ghost adventurer.
When Brian Zepp, the JetBlue attendant, walked to Mrs. Riley's seating area in the 25th row, he witnessed her making up and down movements with her head while she was face down in Mr. Arnold's lap.
So they weren't in the restroom. They were doing that in their seats.
That's what we call airhead.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm a little less defensive of them now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't be doing that in the open. Like, go take it into the tiny restroom.
Well, I said business class, man. Fly business class. They don't care about that in business class.
Yeah. Now I can't defend Methany anymore.
Nope, you can't defend Methany. I told you she's a little desperate. Cops noted that further investigation indicated that Ms. Riley was seen by two underage youths performing oral sex and jerking off Mr. Arnold. That's a quote. I read a quote there. Yeah, he's jerking off Mr. Arnold over there. And
she slowly wrapped her hand around his phallus.
That sounded evil. In a witness statement, a female passenger who was flying with her two children said that during takeoff, and I bet it was during takeoff, she spotted a woman later identified as Riley, quote unquote, jerking off her male companion. Here's the quote. She noticed that my two kids were watching them and they didn't stop. After that, she was laying on him like if she was doing oral sex. Well, she was doing the oral sex, all right.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he felt like he was in first class.
Good. He didn't want her to stop. Riley, a medical receptionist, and Arnold, who's a general contractor, were arrested. He was building a tower, I'll tell you that much. Were arrested upon the July 19th flight's arrival in Sarasota. The duo, who live in Danbury, Connecticut, were booked into the county jail, from which they were freed on Monday. Prosecutors agreed to the couple's release, I bet they did, on their own recognizance while they investigate jurisdiction. The couple is scheduled to be arraigned on August 15th. According to court records, Riley does not have a criminal record. Well, she does now. Arnold, who was convicted of pot possession in 2004, was arrested earlier this year in Connecticut for assault and disorderly conduct.
I mean, that sounds like a general contractor.
Yeah.
That's about what I expect, Yeah. Oh, man.
If they would have took it to the bathroom, they would have had a fighter's chance, right?
Yeah. I was sitting there thinking back to your earlier question too. And I was like, yeah, it totally in a moving aircraft. Yep. That check. But I've also, in the old one-up fashion, have also done it inside of a parked Black Hawk helicopter. So,
Ooh,
yeah,
well,
just saying.
our country salutes you.
I thanked her for her cervix.
Oh, God.
You're
I had a little liquid in my mouth when you said that.
welcome.
And that's what she said. Thank you very much. All right. Our palate cleanser for today isn't much of a palate cleanser, but hey, we'll go to it. What do you get the guy who has everything, whether it be for his birthday, Christmas, bonus?
STDs.
No.
Oh, no. I figured he didn't have those.
Maybe Mr. Arnold has those now. I'm thinking, why not go to Atlantic City and get him a strip club?
Yes, this is my dream. Tim, it's like you were in my brain and pulling all of my dreams and wishes out today. Go ahead.
I pulled this story just for you. A former Atlantic City strip club in the heart of the tourist center is up for auction, and you can get it for your buddy if he, if you're looking for the gift that keeps on giving. Why did I sound like Oprah there? You can get it for your buddy.
You can go to GoFundMe, Darkness Tim. You too can help in purchasing a strip club in Atlantic City for Tim Dennis and Travis Thorpe, where they will be live.
Every
day from 9 p.m. until 3 a.m.
We'll even dance. What the hell? By the way, that GoFundMe is going to be kind of steep. $370,000.
That's it. That's it.
Oh, that's it.
That's it. We could achieve that, Tim. I've seen some of those GoFundMes go into the mills for nothing. This is a great goal.
The building, by the way, went up for auction once before in 2023, but the owners, who paid more than $1.2 million for the property, rejected the top bid of $370,000. They said no. So now it goes to auction. A building that once housed the strip club, Old Delilah's Den. There might have been some imaging issues with that. I think we might have to rename.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you name it?
The Darkness Den of Sin. Or Chuck E. Cheese East Coast version.
The Red Room.
Red Room of Chuck E. Cheese's Red Room of Shame. That's what I'd name it. So if you want to see Chuck E. Cheese's Red Room of Shame come to life,
I would call it Poor Life Choices.
Poor life Chuck E. Cheese's Poor Life Choices.
I've always told my wife, I said, this is my retirement dream. I want to buy a strip mall. Mm-hmm. And in this strip mall, the key section of it is a strip club. And then you also have a daycare, a motel, and a laundromat all in this strip club, so that you can support all of those single mothers and all their needs. And so, because one of the toughest things for them is finding daycare for their kids while they're trying to work. And so you could have in-house daycare built into the same facility. And it's just like this symbiotic machine where everything works off of one another. It's a beautiful plan. I just need I don't know, $20 million to pull it off.
Thank you for tuning in, single mothers. It was great having you on the program as long as it lasted.
And my DMs are updated.
All right. A building that once housed the strip club Old Delilah's Den is up for auction, offering developers a chance to bring a fresh look to spot visible to millions of tourists, a spot that's visible to millions of tourists every year in Atlantic City. I'll get that right. The vacant property sits across from Boardwalk Hall in the center of the city's tourist district. The New Jersey Casino Reinvestment Development Authority bought the property 4 years ago for $1.25 million, and now is hoping to sell it at auction this week, with bidding starting at $150,000.
Wow.
You can buy it for less than the cost of a house.
Yes. I mean, I'm just saying, yeah, might be a good investment.
Might be. It's a really unique location with a very attractive, aggressive auction, said Michael Scheidt, that's what it is, Scheidt, of the CRDA. The building currently still has the remnants of the old strip club on the first and second floors with unfinished apartments on the third level.
Shut up.
Yeah.
First and second floors plus apartments.
It's a double decker with a place to stay.
I'm just saying, I might pull out a second mortgage. We might have to do this, Tim. Are you ready to move?
Okay, yeah, if it's got internet, we can do shows from there.
I mean, if they got an elevator, let's do this, because fuck stairs. Maybe we could take a JetBlue going up.
Yes, we'll take JetBlue back and forth.
That's what we call it. We call the place JetBlue.
JetBlue. JetBlue, the club. Club JetBlue. CJB.
Oh, I love it.
I still like Chuck E. Cheese's Den of Sin, but
yeah. Or maybe we have Chuck E. Cheese as the bouncer.
Chuck E. Cheese is the bouncer, yes. Sorry, park's closed.
You gotta tug the tail to get in.
You gotta tug the tail to get in. Should have read the sign. Boy, that's an old reference. The building, like we said, still has the current remnants of the strip club, first and second floor, apartments up top. Best use is mixed use. It says here they don't know what the best use for this building is. We do. The best use is mixed use, some apartments upstairs and some sort of retail or coffee shop or something downstairs. How about a strip club downstairs?
Yeah. Yeah. What the hell? Over. Yeah. No. Yeah. Oh, this is going to happen. You're going to have the darkness studio there. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful. We'll have a fucking Chuck E. Cheese on the first floor. And then strip club on the second floor. I love this. I love this.
We'll call it the Fun Palace. Chuck E. Cheese fun Emporium. It's for adults and kids.
Yeah.
Fun for the whole family.
With no self-checkout.
Well, there's one coat check. Yeah. You got to have one coat check. It is Atlantic City. It does get cold in winter. Norm Zimmer of Max Span Real Estate and auction company said, I'd put a little coffee shop or something. Who buys a building for $150,000 and goes, I'll put a little coffee shop in there and I'll charge $5 a cup?
Yeah, no.
You got to be out your effing mind, dude.
That's ridiculous. Yeah.
There's a reason there was a double-decker strip club right there in the middle of the boardwalk.
Yeah, and I'm sure it made a ton of money.
I'm sure it did. Yeah. The CRDA previously held an auction in 2023 where they rejected a bid of $370,000 for the property. What do they think they're going to get now? It's Atlantic City. Atlantic City dried up like 20 years ago.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just saying.
It's either strip club or casino. You're getting one or the other in that deal.
Yeah. I think we could make this worth. Maybe we just get the right demographic, and instead of like trying to get like the top tier dancers out there, we just target all the trailer park sixes, and we'll the ratty Chuck E. Cheese bouncers, trailer park sixes to dance. I mean, like, this could work.
Maybe that's the name of the club, Trailer Park Sixes.
Instead of Motel 6, Trailer Park 6.
Trailer Park 6 is the name of the
club. Oh God, it's a good thing I don't have COPD.
Literally, you show up to the club with nothing but 5s and 1s. So that's why it's called Trailer Park 6. Nothing over $6. It's not like the dollar store of strip clubs.
It's like Five Below.
They're throwing quarters. Well, because it's a bargain strip club.
And we're handicap accessible.
And we're handicap accessible.
You can plug in your scooters as you come in.
I'm telling you, there's got to be plugins everywhere for yeah.
Oh man, we'll even put like a little Mario Kart thing going around where you can race your little scooter.
Half the dancers are in nurse uniforms, not because it's sexy, but because it's necessary.
Because they need to.
Yes, because someone may need to be revived during the yeah. Trailer Park 6.
Oh my God.
Trademarked.
Trademarked.
Don't you people fucking take this idea from us.
But please fund it.
I mean, please, we'll set up the GoFundMe and you can.
God, wouldn't it be great if we just jokingly put up the GoFundMe and then it took off? We'd have to commit to it because nobody likes a quitter, Tim.
Nobody likes a quitter.
My wife would be like, what are you doing? And I'd be like, look, nobody likes a quitter. I have to do this now. The fans demand it.
Trailer Park 6.
Oh my God, I love it.
We'll leave a spotlight on for you.
Oh man. Oh.
All right, it's up to, I won't do it, but it's up to you. If you put a GoFundMe up, by God, we're partners. We're going in. If we have to build it here in Minnesota, we'll build it here in Minnesota. There's plenty of places in Northeast Minneapolis that are probably for sale for cheap.
But how are we gonna get our hands on like ratty old Chuck E. Cheese outfits? Like
I've got connections. Yes, I'll get one.
Oh man, I love it. I love it so much. Trailer.
All right, let's get to our last palate cleanser. The palate cleanser went sideways. Now all I can think of is how bad this idea is, but how much people may want to invest.
Woosa.
Woosa. Don't woosa that. Don't woosa yet. Are you ready for this?
Ready.
Second story, palate cleanser. Man wearing a masturbator shirt illegally kills a fish, according to the OSP. Masturbator, as in master, baiter,
and then baiting fish.
Baiting fish. Baiter. He had a sense of humor.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was, kind of like that old saying of like, did you know that pigeons die after they have sex?
They do?
At least the one I fucked did.
Oh, God. So right into that. That's what jeez. Funny but horrible.
All right, masturbator.
An Oregon man is facing several charges after police say he was illegally fishing in Lane County. According to court documents, 2 witnesses saw a man illegally angling on the McKenzie River below Leeburg Dam on July 1st. They confronted the man and recorded the confrontation. The video showed a man and woman quickly walking to their car from a closed to angling location at the base of the dam. The video also showed that they were fishing after 10:40 p.m. According to state law, anglers can only be fishing up to 1 hour after sunset. On that day, the time would have been 9:57 p.m. when you needed to cut that off. Don't ever say cut off your Slauson to a man who's angling. The man had a fishing pole and was wearing a white hat with white sunglasses, which were upside down, along with a shirt that read masturbator, according to one witness. The witnesses then located 3 freshly killed Chinook salmon on the riverbank. They contacted a hatchery employee who stored the salmon in a cooler for evidence. They take their salmon seriously. A trooper responded the next day to the hatchery and located a fourth dead salmon on the riverbank, according to court documents. Also, according to those documents, the witnesses identified the fisherman as 20-year-old Garrett Morrison, a popular and well-known fisherman. Morrison describes himself as a digital creator on Facebook. When the trooper contacted Morrison, he lied and claimed he was not fishing at the dam, according to investigators. Once taken into custody, OSP said the man apologized to the trooper and admitted he was the angler in the video. According to court documents, Morrison is charged with 4 counts of unlawful taking of non-adipose fin-clipped salmon. Bet you didn't know that was a charge. 4 counts of waste of a game fish, angling with a prohibited method, angling during prohibited hours, angling in a prohibited area, and exceeding the daily count of Chinook salmon.
I don't know how to feel about this. I mean, like, on one end, grow up. Who cares? Why are we such Karens? Right? Like, it's fish.
Well, but you can't overfish. That's the thing.
Yeah. And, here comes the other end of it.
Conservation.
He's allegedly a masturbator.
Yes.
He allegedly is a YouTube media personality.
Yeah.
He knows better.
He should know this stuff, right? Yeah.
He knows better, and he's actively doing it. And then he lied, and nobody likes a liar, right?
Right.
So, yeah, screw him. Yeah. Throw the book at him.
Throw the book at him. I agree. All righty. Well, that'll do it for today. That's everything we got. The GoFundMe for Trailer Park 6 will be up shortly. I'm sure Travis will put that up.
No donations over $6.
No donation over $6. We don't want you to spend more than you would spend at the club.
Yep.
If you want to hear a Dirty E podcast on Patreon, we're still waiting to hear if you want to hear that.
Oh, the Elmo After Dark?
Yeah, the Elmo After Dark podcast.
Yeah.
Let us know on that. Mally Fox is in tomorrow with Supernatural News. And then Thursday, an old friend of ours stops by. We'll tell you about an opportunity we have for you. And it's not the Trailer Park 6.
No?
No. But we'll also this person is also on TV. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, and you got a trip up north coming soon too, don't you?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you for mentioning that. Also, there are precious few tickets left, and there are single day tickets available for the Palmer House Hotel trip, which happens this coming weekend. So and it's $59 per day, which is incredibly cheap. And all proceeds go towards helping the animals of St. Cloud that are in the shelter there. So let's get on it, people. Let's help some animals out. Let's and come investigate with us this weekend up at the Palmer House Hotel. It'll be Tim and Lauren Miley, myself, and Scotty Rourke. So come on up. We're going to have a great and darknessradioshow.com again, and go to the events tab. And then you'll see that the Palmer House event is the first one listed there. So click on that link, potographsforpooches.com. And by all means, you can still join us. You can still order tickets. Come on up and have a good time. Friday and Saturday are the events. I know there's a pre-party on Thursday night. Yours truly will be there. So come on by. Let's have some fun. So
rumor has it, if you bring some sixes, he'll dress up in a rat suit.
Yeah, just bring $6 with you. I might show you that big, thick, erect tail. So that'll do it for today. Travis, you have anything else to offer us other than more Trailer Park 6 ideas?
All I got is everybody just remember to be a better version of yourself tomorrow than you were yesterday. Make the world a better place through your actions, and just stop giving a fuck what people think. Be happy. All right.
Well, there you go. There you go. I can't add anything other than to that. So that'll end it for today. Again, Mally Fox Supernatural News tomorrow. For Travis Thorpe, I'm Tim Dennis. Thank you so much for watching and listening. The best in paranormal, the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday.
For more audio and video archives of True Crime Tuesday, intriguing content, and cool swag, check out darknessradioshow.com. The executive producer of True Crime Tuesday is Troy Palmer. If you enjoyed today's program, make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for Supernatural News with Mally Fox.